My husband is deployed. He's not here.
Oh, okay.
Only the dogs are at home still, so none of the above.
We're currently being recorded, so we're about 1 minute from start time, and then we'll begin the agenda, and I'll take roll at that time.
Oh, it's on. I'm just on this one as well. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was gonna look to the earlier version.
Oh, maybe not. Yeah.
That's over there.
No.
Okay, Mackenzie, you ready on your end?
I am.
Okay. Welcome to the annual meeting of the Tennessee State Council for the Military Interstate Children's Compact. Today is Friday, April 8th, 2016, and it is 1 p.m. Central Time. Next slide, please. Okay, here's our agenda. Based on the information in the PowerPoint presentation, I feel like we will be wrapped up within about 40 minutes. All right, officially calling the meeting to order. I'm Deanna McLaughlin. I'm the Tennessee Commissioner to the Military Interstate Children's Compact. I'm in attendance. Is Carolyn Davis with us? Okay, she had indicated she may be late due to a school meeting. Nathan James?
I'm here.
Senator Gresham? Commissioner Grinder? Dr. Worthington?
I'm here.
Thank you. Dr. McFall? Tammy Mason? She had also indicated she may be late. Captain Bryson?
I'm here.
Thank you. Colonel Salome? Colonel Reed?
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, we are short of a quorum, so we won't be able to take care of the voting, the election of officers until we do have a quorum, but I feel like we may not have anybody interested in being vice chairperson. So we'll just carry on. Next slide, please. We should be on introduction of school liaison officers. Thank you. Jennifer Lundy, are you present? Okay.
Madam Chairman, let me interrupt for just a second. Let me first ask unanimous consent of the members present to allow the recording of this meeting to suffice as a minute, so that any person would be able to access it, and we at the State Board will host that in on our website, so that anyone who wasn't able to make it could join. I ask consent.
Is there any objection to the meeting being recorded?
None from me.
Okay, there's no objection, Nathan.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Captain Bryson, is Jennifer present with you?
We're actually trying to get her over here right now. She got called away at something, so I hope to have her in about 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay. Kay Renette is calling with you.
Oh, I'm here though.
Okay, so Fort Campbell's represented. Thank you.
This is Minnie Bears Grinder, and I've joined as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Grinder. Has anyone else
joined?
This
is Carolyn Davis, and I've joined.
Thank you, Carolyn. Let the record reflect we do now have a quorum. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, for those of you who are new with us, this is the purpose of the Military Interstate Children's Compact. Pursuant to terms of the Interstate Compact on Educational Opportunities for Military Children, the Tennessee State Council on Educational Opportunities for Military Children is established to fulfill the objectives of the compact through a means of joint cooperative action among the compacting states, to promote, develop, and facilitate a uniform standard that eases the state-to-state transition of military personnel, their spouses, and primarily their children, as these children transfer from one state to another and from one school system to another as a direct result of the military parents' frequent reassignments. Next slide, please. Okay, this is just a quick glance for all of us to see where our military service members are in the state of Tennessee. This is the most recent numbers that I could obtain from DODEA, but the majority of our military affected students are Army, then Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and then Coast Guard. So that gives you a snapshot of the number of children that this compact assists with their transition. Next slide, please. Key issues affecting military children. Typical students experience between 6 to 9 school transfers between grades K through 12. Difficulty adjusting to new school settings. Transfer of services for special education needs, incompatible graduation requirements, redundant or missing testing, transfer of coursework and grades from the sending school to the receiving school, transfer of records, and exclusion from extracurricular activities. Next slide, please. Also, interpersonal issues affecting performance, social and emotional needs, making new friends, adapting to new social situations. 1 in 15 military dependents have lost a parent to war. Typical deployments vary from 45 days to a year. Deployments can be sudden without notice. Recent Armed Forces surveys show that even parents who don't deploy cope more poorly due to increased workload, and issues can also begin during reintegration when the military service member returns from deployment. Next slide, please. Okay, are there any questions so far on the agenda items, what we've discussed so far? Okay, now that we do have a quorum, is anybody who is not a military service member or Department of Defense employee interested in serving in the capacity of Vice Chairman of the State Council? Basically, if for some reason I'm not available to conduct this meeting each year, that person would fill that role. So I'm accepting self-nomination. Okay, looks like we'll proceed another year without a vice chairperson. Thank you all. Okay. Nathan, don't quit on me.
I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, great. Next slide, please. Okay. Mackenzie, are you able to start the video?
If everybody will just bear with me, I'm going to have to stop sharing the screen just real quickly to bring up the video. So just if you give me just a quick moment here.
Sure, I can speak until you get to that point.
Yes, that would be great.
Last year at the annual meeting of the Military Interstate Children's Compact Commissioners, one of the commissioners played this video that we're about to see that was done by University of Southern California about, it's called Children of the Deployed. And I'm sure a lot of us have seen different videos or presentations done on this topic, but I thought this one was really impactful, and the Kleenex was being passed around the room. But this is just a reminder of why we are doing what we're doing and who we are here to serve.
Deanna, this is Mackenzie real quick. The only thing I cannot do on my end is the audio. I don't think it's going to come through. So those of you that are on your computers, if you can just mute your phone and then play the audio on your computer so you can hear it. That's our only challenge here.
Okay. Thank you.
Am I the only one having problems with audio on the computer?
You're not. I was just texting Mackenzie that.
No,
Either somebody has it.
I don't think so. We could, maybe we could, you think we could turn that up loud enough and just start it from the beginning?
Do you want me to start it over, Deanna?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Can that get any louder?
My father has been deployed at least over 8 times. My father's been deployed 6 or 7 times. 4 or 5 times. My dad has been deployed. He's been 8 or 9 times. 7 times. He's been deployed 3 times. My dad's deployed right now, and he's been deployed ever since. I expect him to deploy again. I've moved 7 or 8 times. 5 times. North Carolina, New York, Alabama, Florida, Arizona, Texas, California. They don't and then
like every single day, it's just like you're always thinking about him, thinking about like how his day went, what it's like where he is, and what's pretty much going on with everything that he does. It's kind of like you're worried like all the time,
When my father's deployed, I'm scared that he might come home injured. When my mom's not around, I'll have no one to talk to, and I'll have no one to help me on my homework when I really need it.
I would be at home alone, trying to do my homework, and nobody help me.
Being a man in a house, it's pretty hard because I worry a lot about what's going to happen, and I don't really pay attention. I help my mom out. I do what I can. And then I like needing to see him. They didn't know how to handle it because they don't really get that many military kids. And on a military base, they help us because they know what we're going through.
Most of the kids that understand what I was going through, they were like, oh, your dad's military, that's no big deal. That can't be hard for you. That doesn't affect you at all. They don't understand, but in a military school, they understand what you're going through because they're going through it too.
It's really school. They don't know to appreciate it. They don't know how you feel. So if something happens, they can't relate to that or understand.
A lot of schools, they have like kind of the same curriculum, like being on-base schools, except for like this school here being off-base school. They go by like an entirely different curriculum than in other schools.
They both do one different thing. Like California does world history. Other states just do their state history. So it's kind of hard to deal with the different subjects because they might be in the middle of something new. It's pretty hard because when I moved out here from Minnesota, we were learning completely different things in each core subject. And I got out here and they were like way ahead of us and everything. Your grades take a while to transfer over if you go in the middle of the year. One school will be on Algebra 1 for 8th grade and pre-algebra or something higher. One being like, I don't really know who my dad is at this point because he's gone so often. 2, dealing with the fact that we're constantly moving and not knowing what's coming next. 3, I having people who don't understand you whatsoever. In part 1, my dad gave dog tag. It says, Kaylee, be strong. I love you. Be home. Love,
Thank you, Mackenzie, for adding the volume.
Yes.
So those are the children that we serve. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, we're going to go through a few of the cases that Carolyn and I have had this year. For those of you who aren't familiar with Carolyn, she's the Military Family Education Liaison for the state compact. Like me, she's an unpaid volunteer, but her and I work cases together as they come our way. One thing that we're noticing so far this year that we are seeing a high increase in is military families who would like to place their child in charter schools. And currently, the compact language loosely addresses charter schools as they're publicly funded. The compact rules apply, but the issue that we're facing the compact does not address is the waiting lists and the application process for charter schools. I have sent that up to our national office for them to look into how that may be addressed in the future. Our next annual meeting is in October, and I'm confident that Tennessee is not the only state that is seeing an increase in charter school inquiries. This is the first case we're going to look at. Is case number 1. We are a Navy family moving from Tennessee to Ohio. My husband will be in Oxford, Ohio at the Miami University ROTC Commander. Our daughter will be a senior and will graduate in spring 2016. She has already been accepted to the Ohio CCP program, which is the advanced student program. She was already on track to graduate in Tennessee with state honors or with state distinction. I see that 4 credits are required for Ohio honors diploma, and she cannot make that up in 1 year. What can MIC3 do to help in this department? I would hate for her not to be looked at competitively for college for all her hard work so far, only to reflect a typical diploma. Next slide, please. So the action was that I contacted the Ohio commissioner, myself, and then I contacted the school superintendent at the sending school to inquire about the possibility of the student graduating with a diploma from the sending school while walking graduation at the receiving school. Due to the fact this case was initiated during the summer, it took several weeks for the guidance counselors at both schools to connect, but the result will that she will graduate this spring at her receiving school with the diploma from her sending school. Next slide, please. That falls under Compact Rule, Chapter 400, graduation transfers during senior year. There may be cases in which a military student transferring at the beginning or during his or her senior year is ineligible to graduate from the receiving school after all alternatives have been considered. In such cases, a sending school and receiving school shall ensure the receipt of a diploma from the sending school if the student meets the graduation requirements of the sending school. So basically, I feel like this case would have moved along faster had we not had a summer break, but in the end, everything has worked out for the student, and hopefully she'll be able to receive some great scholarships based on her honors diploma from a Tennessee school. Are there any questions on this case or anything similar to graduation requirements? Okay. I had just today had a phone call pertaining to a transfer during senior year. a student transferred this week from Georgia to Tennessee, and he's missing an economics end of course exam. So I've already reached out to the schools to try and get that worked out based on the graduation rules that are allowed in the compact. Next slide, please. Okay, case 2. Basically, an active guard parent contacted me about her son who had dyslexia. They were receiving services in their sending state, but the school that they were placed in Tennessee was not recognizing dyslexia as a learning disability. And basically, it's a very rural school system in the state of Tennessee. They were looking at the exact letters of what is recognized in Tennessee as far as learning disabilities. Next slide, please. So I contacted the receiving school administration, and I was referred to the special education director for that system. And again, they said they did not recognize dyslexia. I spoke to them about the compact and how the compact addresses special needs. And also, I found in Tennessee code that special learning disability means a disorder in one or more of the basic psychological processes involved in understanding or in using language spoken or written that may manifest itself into an imperfect ability to listen, think, speak, read, write, spell, and/or do mathematical calculations, including conditions such as perpetual disabilities, brain injury, minimal brain dysfunction, dyslexia, and developmental. So in the end, the school and I got on the same page, and they had worked to get reading assistance for that student. Next slide, please. And it falls under rule chapter 500, placement and attendance. Any questions on this case? Something that will help in the future in Tennessee for all children with dyslexia is the state legislature is currently working on an identifier for dyslexia, and that legislation actually had been initiated by a student and parent in the Clarksville, Montgomery County school system. So, shout out CMCSS, Dr. Worthington, if you're still on.
Mm-hmm.
Next slide, please. Okay, this is a continuation of placement for students with special needs or identifiers. Next slide, please. This is the rule specifically that addresses special education services. Okay, I think this is our last case. My son is a junior, a new student in Woodbridge, Virginia, coming from Clarksville. We're a military family. My reason for contacting you is I need your assistance to assure that the Interstate Compact on Educational Opportunity for Military Children is in accordance with and completely applies to my son, who is a military child. My son was told to take a state comprehensive exam without prior preparation and without the parent's knowledge or notification. My son was pulled from class to take a biology, basically end of course exam. When he told the test administrator he had taken a required biology exam in Tennessee and had passed it, she sent him to see his counselor. When my son spoke to his counselor, he told my son that he had to take not only that test, but 5 more tests to follow in order to graduate. Next slide, please. Back one. My son knows the importance of good education. He's a good kid and works extremely hard. He passed all of his Tennessee end of course comprehensive exams. He was invited to apply for National Honor Society prior to leaving, and at the beginning of the 2015-16 school year, he entered PWCS with a total of 14 credits and a 3.6 GPA. The notion that my son can take the exam several times over and colleges will not be privy to the scores is beyond the point if he has already taken the comprehensive exams and taken them. It is about acting in compliance with the compact. I pray that you will understand that my position comes from a place of concern and advocacy for my son. I would appreciate your assistance in resolving this matter. Thank you for your time. I state this every year. When people come to Carolyn and I with placement issues of their children, we know that there are three sides to every story. Please know we do not take what the parent is telling us at face value. We gather that information, we speak with the school system to make sure that we are getting all sides of everything. And when I say we speak with the school system, we speak with the sending school and the receiving school so that everybody is on the same page. Next slide, please. Okay, I contacted the lead counselor of instruction and curriculum department at the sending school system, and she contacted the receiving school guidance counselor, emailed a copy of the exams that the student had completed in his sending school, and the result was the sending school waived a couple of the exams based on what the student took in his sending school. And in the end, everybody was happy with the outcome on that. Any questions on this case? Okay, next slide, please. And then this is the rule on exit exams or transfers during senior year that applied. Next slide, please. Okay, just as a reminder, I always like to show the resources that are available to all of us when it comes to the compact. This is the website for the compact. It's pretty simple. It's www.mic3.net. Next slide, please. There are several resources. The one that I refer to the most is the adopted rules. Next slide, please. And there are various webinars and also attorney opinions and frequently asked questions also available on this resources tab. Next, okay. And then the digital guide, which is a quick glance for parents in schools when it comes to the compact. And if anybody ever needs hard copies of those, just let me know and I can have them sent your way. Next slide, please. Okay, so we rolled through that pretty quickly. Does anyone have any questions related to what we've covered here or any other issues related to the Military Interstate Children's Compact? Did anybody else join that we did not get in the roll call? Did Colonel Salome join? Okay. What about Senator Gresham? Okay. Does anyone have any comments?
Hey, Deanna.
Yes.
This is Jennifer Lundy from Mid-South Fiscal Liaison Officer. I wanted to let you know that I was able to join. I missed roll call, so I apologize for that. But I would love if we could get some hard copies of the brochures to hand out to families. We don't have any left. I know Fleet and Family likes to put those in the welcome packets that they send out. So if we could get some of those, that would be wonderful.
How many do you need?
What's a typical order look like? Because I haven't gotten them before. We just ran out of them, so not sure what a good number would be. You just tell me how many you need, and then we'll get them to you. Let's say 200.
Okay. All right.
And that way I can take some up to Fleet and Family, too.
Okay. Ladies on Fort Campbell, do you all need any of those?
It would be great if you can send about 100. Probably have about 2 left, so 100 would do as well.
You're breaking up. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I picked up the receiver. I said about 100 of them would do us fine. We have a couple of them left, maybe 2 or 3, so we've given them out. So 100 would do fine.
Okay, I can get those to you. For the school administrators who are on, do you all need any brochures or any of the red rule books?
We shouldn't. I kept some from last year. I gave them out to all the counselors, and I just kept, I think maybe I had 10 left over, so we should be okay.
Okay, thank you. I know I gave some to Judy Springer as well.
Right.
But if anybody ever runs low, just let me know. The national office is really good about meeting our requests. Okay. Does anybody have any comments or anything they'd like to share?
Deanna, this is Carolyn Davis.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I was just going to share that I've done 2 presentations to some local school boards in the East Tennessee area for Month of Military Child. So I have mentioned the Military Interstate Compact for this region.
Thank you. Carolyn and I did a joint presentation in September. What was the name of that conference?
Oh, if you hadn't asked me the name, I would be able to tell you. It's the Tennessee Counselors and Administrators Institute, I believe, in Murfreesboro.
Yes. I was nervous. I thought we were going to have like a room full of people, like 100 people. We ended up with like 4. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. But
we had a bad time slot. I think we were at 3:30 after everybody had been in meetings all day. So.
And I think we were competing with somebody that had goodies they were giving away or something.
Yes.
So we might need to step up our swag.
Right. We were competing with the keynote speaker also at the same time.
If any of you ever would like for Carolyn or I to come speak to a group about the compact, we can do that. If you just let us know, her and I can coordinate and see who is available to go where. Any other comments? All right. Well, thank you all so much for your time. I appreciate it. If anything pops up throughout the year, just let us know, and we're here to assist in whatever way we possibly can.
Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it.
Sure. I'd like to thank Mackenzie and Nathan for coordinating all of the technical aspects of this. Ran really smooth.
That was all Mackenzie. We're very lucky at the state board to have communications help this year that we didn't have last year. So always happy to help.
Thank you all so much. Everybody have a great weekend.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.